Atlanta. Gone. Swallowed. Not by fire or flood, but by something worse. Something wrong. It started quietly. A few news reports, missing persons. Then the screams began. The creatures came without warning. Smiling, they called them. A grotesque mockery of joy twisted onto pale, rubbery faces. They swarmed from the sewers, the parks, even bursting from basements, hungry for flesh, for fear, for life itself. The police, God bless them, stood no chance. Outnumbered, outmatched, their bullets bounced harmlessly off the creatures' hides. The lucky ones died quickly. The unlucky? Their screams echoed in the night, a chilling symphony of despair. The National Guard arrived quickly. Young faces, fresh from basic, expecting riots. Not this. Their training meant nothing. Their weapons useless. The creatures, immune to bullets, to fire, even to explosives, ripped through their ranks like wolves through sheep. Stories trickled out from the survivors. Tales whispered in hushed tones. The creatures, they weren't just strong, they were smart. They adapted, learned. Every encounter, they became more efficient, more deadly. A perimeter was established, a desperate attempt to contain the nightmare. But the perimeter was a joke. The creatures simply moved through the sewers, through the underground, bypassing our defenses as if they weren't even there. The army rolled in next. Tanks rumbled down Peachtree Street, their guns thundering defiance. Fighter jets screamed overhead, unleashing hellfire. For a moment, just a moment, we dared to hope. The hope was short-lived. The creatures, unfazed by the firepower, simply burrowed underground, emerging behind our lines, wreaking havoc in the field hospitals, in the command posts. Our weapons, our technology, our might meant nothing. The stories got worse. The creatures, they weren't just killing, they were changing things, twisting them. The reports were fragmented, confused, but one thing was clear. Whatever these things were, they were changing the very fabric of our world. The evacuation order came too late for many. The roads out of the city became choked with panicked refugees, sitting ducks for the creatures that seemed to relish the chaos. It was a massacre. I remember the veterans, their eyes haunted with memories of other wars, other horrors. They talked about Okinawa, about Hue, about Fallujah. But this was different. This wasn't war. This was extermination. And then came the order, the last order. Operation Black Tide, a desperate gamble, a 1 in a million shot. But with every other option exhausted, it was all we had left. A city on fire. We evacuated everyone we could. Then we waited for the signal. The city, once a bustling hub of life, was now a ghost town, eerily silent except for the sounds of the creatures, their chittering laughter echoing through the empty streets. The plan was simple, brutally so. A chain of depth charges, salvaged from a mothballed destroyer, were to be detonated in the Atlantic, creating a massive tidal wave, a wall of water designed to wash away the creatures, to reclaim the city. It was a long shot, we knew that. But what choice did we have? We had thrown everything we had at these things, and nothing worked. This was our last, desperate hope. The night of the detonation, we huddled on Stone Mountain, watching the city burn. The fires, started by the creatures, or by our own bombs, painted the sky a sickly orange. The air was thick with smoke and the metallic tang of blood. There were no cheers, no celebrations. Just the grim silence of soldiers who had seen too much, who had lost too much. We knew that even if the plan worked, even if the wave washed away the creatures, Atlanta as we knew it was gone. But maybe, just maybe, it would be enough. Maybe the sacrifice, this city drowned in the name of survival. Maybe it would be enough to buy the rest of the world time to prepare to fight back. The signal came at dawn, a single flare arcing high above the burning city. We held our breath, our eyes glued to the horizon, waiting for the water to rise, for the wave to come. The silence was almost unbearable. The fires still burned, casting long, dancing shadows across the ruined cityscape. The creatures, were they oblivious? Or were they waiting, watching, knowing what was to come? And then, we felt it. A tremor deep beneath our feet. The ground vibrated, a low rumble that seemed to rise up from the very core of the earth. The ocean was coming. The wave hit with the force of 1,000 suns. A towering wall of water, black against the dawning sky, slammed into the coast, swallowing everything in its path. The sound was deafening, a primal roar that seemed to split the heavens. We watched, our faces illuminated by the strange otherworldly glow of the churning water, as the wave swept inland, swallowing the city, the creatures, everything. For a moment, just a moment, there was nothing but the sound of the water, the roar of the ocean reclaiming what was once hers. And then silence. Silence. The silence stretched on, broken only by the crackle of the dying fires and the whisper of the wind through the ruined buildings. The water receded, leaving behind a city drowned, a wasteland of debris and destruction. We descended from our perch, picking our way through the wreckage, the silence pressing down on us like a physical weight. Were they gone? Had the wave washed away the nightmare, or had it simply driven the creatures deeper underground, waiting to resurface? We didn't know. We could only hope. Hope that the sacrifice of Atlanta had been enough. Hope that the rest of the world had learned from our mistakes. Hope that humanity could survive the coming storm.